Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Get Well, Live Strong. I'm so glad that you're here today. It's kind of a special time for me today because, I'm sitting out here on the farm, and it's been a beautiful 2 mornings. We've had, believe it or not, lows in the 60s. It's just been beautiful. And so I'm just sitting out here with my pup, and we're just enjoying the morning. But I have something that I wanted to talk to you about. I kind of alluded to it on Saturday that, you know, something that I wanted to share with you and why I made a decision that I made. Normally on a morning like this, when it's so wonderful and so cool and just so pleasant, I'd be out running. The longer, the better. I absolutely love to run. I've run for years. The, I just absolutely love to run. It gives me such a sense of freedom. I feel good when I run. I feel good as I'm running. And there's nothing that to me is more gratifying than to propel myself from one place to another place over several miles by my own leg power. I don't know what it is, but I just love to run. And because I love to run, when I was over the road, I have run miles and miles down a road that I didn't know. It was brand new to me. I've never been on that road before or since, for that matter. And I would explore new places and I would challenge my body in ways that I haven't challenged it before. And I've run races. I've run short races. I've run long races. And literally, I have a wall full of bib numbers and participation medals that I have achieved and I've collected over the years. So if all of that is the case, I'm sure that you're asking the question, why would I stop? And not only that, but why would I abruptly stop? Well, I have to tell you, about 4 weeks ago, first of all, it was the day before my 69th birthday. It was on Saturday. And I started off my day by running. And I ran, oh my gosh, it was just so wonderful. And I ran that run and it was just great. I didn't injure myself. I didn't overdo it. I didn't get dehydrated. Nothing. It was like the perfect run. And then I spent the rest of the day thinking about you. And I was getting ready to launch my YouTube channel. And I really, more than anything, want to help you. And I have dedicated whatever time God has given me from now to the day that I draw my last breath to helping you get better, get well, to live the best life that you possibly can as you age. And there's one topic that we haven't covered a lot of yet that we will be. And that topic is longevity. Now, I know that sounds crazy coming from a 69-year-old. It's like, how much longer are you going to be here, right? But longevity is very, very, very key. And I was doing some notes, just thoughts that were coming to my mind on how I needed to approach the topic of longevity that would do the most good and help you the most. And then suddenly, I realized that morning was the last run that I will run. Well, I mean, unless a bear's chasing me or something, and then all bets are off. But I had to stop running. And here's why. I have a very serious condition in my lower lumbar spine. I have 2 fractures, and my spine is unstable. My skeletal spine is unstable. and it's caused my L5 vertebrae. They're supposed to be on top of each other just like that, a perfect fit like that. Well, it has caused my L5 vertebrae to shift forward on top of my S1 vertebrae, right in the very bottom of my spine. But interestingly enough, over time, I do a lot of strengthening in my back and my, in my core, my legs, to compensate for that injury, that instability. Right now, if I were to lace on my running shoes, I could go out and I could run and probably be totally pain-free. But here's the thing. I had, over the months prior to that, my chiropractor, who I have to go see twice a month to make sure that I am still mobile and I'm able to move and do the things that I need to do. He mentioned, I don't know, 2, maybe 3 times, Reba, you probably should stop running. But my schedule was, and very effectively was, 3 days a week, I went to the gym, I strengthened my muscles 3 days a week, I would run varying distances, and then I would observe the Sabbath on Sunday, and I would rest. Worked very well. I had no complaints, no problems, or whatever. Prior to that Saturday, the day before my birthday, on that Wednesday, I went in to see the chiropractor. And again, he brought it up. He said, Reba, you really should stop running. And so I kind of passed it off and I made a joke about it. And I said, well, you have the wrong idea about me running at my age. I'm not like the sprint of the gazelle. I'm more like the march of the penguins. Well, we kind of laughed it off or whatever. But that Saturday night, when that thought came in my mind, and I just knew that he was right. Sometimes you just know. And I can't say that there was this big booming voice that came from heaven that said, thou shalt not run. But it was just that still small voice inside me and from behind me saying, this is the way. Walk in it. Not run, walk in it. And I knew. And but something kept nagging at me. But I have no pain. I have no pain. And when I run. So I began a research of that, a deep dive into that. And what I determined, what I found out, was that when someone has my exact condition, with both fractures where they're located, with the spondylolisthesis, the shifting forward, that if you run 1 minute, I could be running, and the next second, I could be totally paralyzed. And so I knew at that point that I have to do it for you, and I have to do it for me. Because if I were to take that step, and that was the last step that I ever took, because suddenly and permanently I was paralyzed. I can't do the things that I do for you. I can't accomplish my ministry the way that I would and the way that I should. And so suddenly something in my life was more important than running. And that was staying well enough to be able to accomplish the purpose that God's placed me here on earth. And that's why I decided that the morning that I had run was indeed my last run. And so this is the point in my YouTube channel that I feel like I need to start introducing to you something that is critical to you getting well, staying well, and living strong. And that is doing everything that you do in life with longevity in mind. God willing, I want to be on YouTube 20 years from now, helping you continue to live a long and healthy and prosperous life. You know, maybe, oh, there's my pup right there. That's Cowboy, by the way. Let me introduce you. Meet Cowboy. He is a almost 2-year-old. He's like, today's the 3rd of August, so in 12 days, he will be 2 years old. He's my buddy. And God has really blessed me with this boy. But anyway, so he's out here too. But every decision that you make from here on out until the moment that either the rapture takes you home or the grave takes you home to be with Jesus, you should be thinking and making decisions in terms of longevity. You know, we talked a lot about foods that you eat and foods that you should avoid and all that, and that is absolutely true. But the reason that it is true is not because I'm trying to restrict you. It's not because statistics say, it's not because we know these things to be true, but it's because you want to live long, you want to be healthy, and you want to prosper. And so the decisions that you make today are going to affect you 10 years from now, 20 years from now, down the road. And that's why you want to make those decisions. And so when I started looking at that moment that revelation came to me, sitting in my recliner chair on a Saturday night before my birthday, the day before my birthday, I realized when I thought about longevity, it was not the best option. It was not the best decision. It was not the healthiest thing, the most wise thing that I could do to ensure that 10 years from now, I'm still sitting here in this chair doing what I'm doing now with you. And so when I came to that revelation, it was a no-brainer for me. And so now I walk, I go to the gym, I bumped up my strength training because at our age, and even before, the thing that is going to plant the seeds and build the foundation for your future and your healthy future, my healthy future, is to strengthen your body so that you have the capability to not fall if you stumble, be able to have your balance, be able to to avoid the things that we see in so many people. I can't tell you how many people I know that even in the last 365 days have fallen. They've broken their hips. They've had surgeries. They've had to go back for second surgeries, third surgeries because of something else that's happened because they injured themselves, because they could not catch themselves, because perhaps their strength wasn't enough. And so every decision that you make at this point in your life has to be through the filter of longevity and living a long, healthy, strong, prosperous life. When you run, or if you ride a bike, and I'm not talking about just a leisurely ride around the neighborhood, but if you like I used to be with a bicycle club in Florida, and man, we used to go on rides, long rides every weekend, and I'm not talking about that. I mean, I am talking about that. I'm not talking about, just the leisurely putts around the neighborhood. But if you're doing that for aerobic benefit and you're running for aerobic benefit, if you think in terms of longevity, the better option is to strengthen more, do intense exercise less. If you need to lose weight, if you need to lose fat, that's a better option. There are two different body systems that work when you're doing intense aerobic exercise and when you're weightlifting, doing resistance training. And the resistance training mechanism that you're building strength, that actually allows your body to lose fat, and it also builds the muscle. And so it's a better choice. Am I saying that you should not do aerobic exercise? No. But what I am saying is that you should do the strength training first and then a little bit of aerobic exercise. You don't need as much as you think or that you've been led to believe. And maybe you're not doing any of it right now. What I would recommend to you from the bottom of my heart, please start doing things to strengthen your body, to especially your core. And I'm not saying that you need to do, 200 finger lifts, because in the long run, that finger is probably not going to prevent your fall if you stumble. Okay? But the big muscle groups, your torso, your shoulders, your legs, your butt, your legs, upper legs particularly, those are the things that are, if you strengthen those, they're going to keep you from falling. They're going to, if you do fall, they're hopefully going to keep you from being able, from actually suffering a fracture of the hip or something like that. And so that's why it's very important that you do that. So if you don't have a gym membership and you have a gym, a fitness center in your area, I highly recommend that you look into possibly joining one of those. And I have to tell you, if you are on Medicare and you have a Medicare supplement, I have to tell you that many of the Medicare supplements actually include a gym membership as part of the benefit that you have from that policy. I have a Medicare supplement, and we have 2 fitness centers in my little town, and I had the choice of either one of them, and I just happened to choose Planet Fitness because the machines fit me better. They have a philosophy and fitness center policy that it is a no judgment zone. And if you go into there, it doesn't matter whether you're thick, whether you're thin, whether you're tall, short, whether you can lift 300 pounds or 3 pounds, everybody is treated the same. And it really is a great thing. But even if you can't afford a gym membership or there's not one in your area, maybe you live way out in the country and it's 50 miles to the nearest gym, figure out something to do that you can just do some resistance so that you can gain that strength in your shoulders, your torso, your back, your front, your legs, your buttocks, so that you can have a lot of strength. It is so critical to longevity. And I don't know about you, but as much as I love running, and I do, and I mean, sometimes I look at my running shoes and I'm like, wow, friend, I sure miss you. There's no run that I can do that is worth my health. And that is the price that I would pay, probably at some point, if the statistics are correct. And I'm not willing to pay that price. So I don't run. I hung up my running shoes for the last time. And now I concentrate solely on longevity. I go to the gym at least 3 times a week. I try to squeeze a 4th one in. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. But I really work to strengthen my back, my torso, my shoulders, my legs. And it's really helped me. And as long as I can do that, the longer I can bring you videos, the more that I can help you with your journey, the more that I can encourage you, and the more that I can bring you, do the deep dives in research and then bring that information to you so that you can make an informed decision. So that's why I don't run. That's why I quit. And it's for a very good reason. And that reason, my friend, is you. So I hope you take this to heart, and I hope you start thinking and making decisions based on your own personal longevity. Because quite frankly, I'd love to have you here for a lot more years. Hey, listen, on Wednesday, I'm going to be bringing you a video that's going to blow your mind. And you're going to want to see this video. It's a hard pill to swallow. Some information that I found out about things that that you're taking that you never would think might be harming you. So anyway, be sure to watch on Wednesday. But until then, my friends, get well, live strong. God bless.